Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. People often say it's the driver, not the car. But is that actually true? Today we're going to put that to the test. I've upgraded my Losi 8 XTE to a Tekno ET48 2.2. I've kept the same electronics and the same tires. And then I entered this truck into an epic 3-day race series to find out whether a better truck can actually make you a faster driver. And by the end of the weekend, I had my answer. But it wasn't as simple as I expected. This Tekno is going to be a major upgrade from the Losi that I was racing before. If you guys remember, I did a video on my first RC race ever. That was featuring the truck I had at the time, the Losi 8 XTE, which is a ready-to-run race truck. It was pretty perfect for beginners like me who didn't really have any experience actually racing on the track and who mostly did bashing prior to this. I actually have had that truck for quite a while and it was time for an upgrade. I recently sold it as a roller. Now I've upgraded to a premium race RC. We'll check it out in this video and see if a better truck can actually make this guy a better racer. Unlike the Losi, which was unique because it was a ready-to-run race truck, this one is more traditional in that it comes completely disassembled and you have to put everything together yourself. Lucky for me, Justin at RC Madness put this whole thing together for me, and all I had to do was paint and trim the body as well as put my own tires on it. This Spektrum sensored system with a 130 amp ESC and a 2250 kV motor worked great for the Losi, so I figured why not just swap it over for this. I also using the same receiver and the Spektrum S665 servo. This is a much more premium RC, and that comes in with the price as well. Just for the kit alone, not including electronics, it runs for $730 right now. That's quite an increase from the Losi 8 XTE ready to run, which you can buy for $649 right now. There are many different ways why this truck is better in terms of the components of the Losi, and mostly that has to do with durability and adjustability. There are more adjustment points in each area that can allow for you to fine-tune different settings. Other ways are just better built equipment, such as these shock towers that are machined aluminum rather than stamped. The 7075 chassis is much stronger than the 6061 chassis that was on the Losi. And really the list goes on and on. So let's check out the weight of this truck. It's going to be very light because it's built for that. And we've got 8 pounds, 8.9 ounces. So for a big RC truggy like this, 8th scale, that's pretty light. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me compare that with a similarly sized RC truck that is also 8th scale, but that's a basher, not a racer. And that would be something like this Arma Creighton EXB. 13 pounds, 2.3 ounces. And for comparison to the Losi, that comes in at about 9 pounds even. So this is only slightly lighter. The Losi is a great truck because it's a ready to run. It's good for people who are beginning in the hobby or that have already done it for a while but just don't want to struggle with building the truck. However, the Tekno is a platform that's built for precision tuning and fast racing. And for that reason, I'm intrigued to see how much this truck can actually help me. Another aspect that shouldn't be ignored is parts availability. This might be particularly true with racing when you might need to fix something very fast in between races. If your local hobby shop carries the part, it can be a huge advantage. Tekno happens to have that advantage where many racers already use Tekno and I've noticed that the hobby shop carries a lot of those parts in stock. Losi, on the other hand, has recently had some difficulties stocking parts, and that worried me a little bit. Each race is totally different, and this one that I'm going to be doing is a really well-attended 2-day event. Actually 3-day, because the practice starts today on Friday, and then it goes Saturday for qualifiers and Sunday for qualifying and racing. So there's going to be a lot of people there. In the first race that I did, if you guys saw that first race video, you would see that I did okay in the first qualifier and really just getting my feet wet. Finished really pretty much last place, and then in the second qualifier I broke right away on the first lap. This is the part that broke here, the spindle. So that cut the whole night short. On the second time I tried racing with the Losi, I did better. I was able to make both qualifying rounds and then race in the D main, which in this case was the lowest ranking main event. We'll see how I do on this round. So what do you guys think? How much can a new RC actually improve the speed of my driving? Let's go out there and find out. Over here at RC Madness, this is practice for the big race. There's already people setting up their trucks and tents and stuff. It's going to be pretty packed here tomorrow and the next day. Yeah, I'm getting better. Getting better. It just feels more solid and more compact. We'll see tomorrow and maybe the next day how I actually do in the race, but as you saw there, I was actually keeping up with some people, which is something I rarely do. This servo actually has some problems where it's quivering and it's just not steering as good as I remember. All right guys, so I'm back at home, got the truck up on the bench, and I'm gonna do a couple things to it to tweak it for tomorrow's race. One is that I got a new servo here. That servo, it's got some loose gears and it's quivering, and so rather than try to fix those gears, since it's not the best servo in the world, I got a better one. This is the Power HD T50, which comes highly recommended by the guys at RC Madness. I guess it's a pretty good one. So I'm gonna swap this out. So we'll get this thing all set up and then pack up the car for tomorrow's race. See you then. All right guys, we're back at RC Madness, this time for race day. The conclusion I've come to as to why I'm faster, it takes less effort. I have to do less manhandling of the truck, and so part of that has to do with skill, but I think it's just easier with a better truck like that. Yep, next.
3 minutes left. The top drivers are Hank Shotrin. He came last by 18.4 pace.
Dude, he has some really good saves. That's not. You're not smooth drive.
Matthew at 4. Arrogant. Is victory. 18. Papa. Down 3 kills for 4 work. Outstanding. to the 12 drivers. Steve Marcel, Roy Person, John Donovan, Bruce, Phil Hopkins, Terrell, Peter, Leslie, Bob Moran, Dave Padlock, and Margaret Sarah. Looks like good going. Great time, guys. Great lead. 12:30 p.m.
No worries, dude.
Heads on a 910. Victor Ruby on a 913. Marshall, stay sharp. Drivers to left. You let them go.
I did really badly. What'd you think?
It was cool. I got it on one.
Oh, nice. What's up? How you doing? Good. So I have adjusted the height on this a little bit to more of a race setting. I adjusted the steering so it's not so sensitive. So both of those should help. All right.
Race number 8 in progress out of 18 to close out second round action. Matthew and Ian Clark.
The top drivers are James Lane with a 9-lap 5:23.16. Rob Maynard with a 9-lap 5:26.22. And Steve Marshall with a 9-lap 5:32.58.
Ian Clark in heat number 3, race number 10. That's coming up next. We got Steve Everett, Will Santiago, Paul Silvestri, Tony Sten, Nate Rochester, Josh Mack, Bruce Kirby. We got AJ Roy, Phil Rogers, Jacob Reddick, and Eric Leones. That's the lineup. That's a good one. 5:22 to pace. Bob on a 9:25. Steve on a 9:30. Roy on a 9. And Ian top 5 on an 8:09. Terrell on an 8. Matthew on an 8. Dave Padlock on an 8. Kyle on a 7.
The top
Roy on a 9:37. It's Matthew and Fifth on an 8. Ian on an 8. Ian Clark on an 8. Kyle on an 8. Jay on an 8. Terrell trying to get his 8. He's on a 7 flat. Tighten it up. 3 seconds. Finish strong, guys. Finish strong. Everybody's still on the clock. Everybody's still on the clock. Keep going. Keep going. How about Terrell? Keep going. You got your 8. Keep going.
Yes.
That
was much better.
Roy will get 9 at 34. James will hold on to 3rd at 9. That's 5:36. Correct, guys.
Terrell will be done with 8-lap 5.
together a great program. So with that being said, moving forward, as what was said yesterday, we have our staging area with some tables here. Got the chain link. Hope you guys are enjoying the barbecue portion. Thomas at 7, Bishop at 5, Eddie at 6, Robert at 1. I need, let's see, Matthew, Ian, George, Ellen. That's my lineup. That's coming up next.
With a 9 lap 5:33 flat pace, T-Dog. With an 8 lap 5:20.3 pace, and Matthew time on team.
And enjoying your stay this weekend. Great energy. That's fine, yep. AJ Roy, Bob Mita, Roy Poston, James Rose, Jason Reddick, Eric Leones, Steve, Wayne, and Blake. Is Terrell on an 8:15, Ellen on an 8:16, Nick Sicandi on an 8:17. Ian on an 8:19. Matthew right here in the mix too, 5:20. So everybody battling for that top spot. These guys are separated by 4 seconds. Good stuff. Lock in. Don't overthink it.
As you guys can see, my progress is incremental but steady. In the first qualifier, I didn't do too well. The second one, I definitely started to improve, working my way up into about the middle of the pack. And most recently, this third qualifier was my best performance yet, finishing in 3rd place. This button is completely stuck, and so I cannot turn this thing on or off. This could be the end of the day here. This is the second time I've had this happen with this remote too. All right, so James at RC Madness saved the day. He was able to take apart the radio and get off that, loosen up that button, and he showed me the trick, which is that you should always hit the top half of this button when you turn it on, and then it'll work. And if you hit the bottom half too many times, then it jams it up.
Did you record my
I didn't get it, sorry, but one of these days I will. You did great though. You're so, oh no. You guys are done for. That's gonna be in the road. You better be careful. Tell your dad. They kicked the ball over the fence.
I wonder how long, I wonder if you could fit two like 40 footers. Yeah, I thought so.
All right guys, so my main event's coming up. It's gonna be the E main. It goes down to F. And so this is the E main, and I'm gonna be starting in 8th position. And so far, I'm already doing way better than I ever have. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, is that you?
All right, I'll see you out there.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're there.
What's up? We got an extra one up front.
I am getting ready for the race, but I get distracted by someone who's pointing out that there's too many cars on the track. That was the start of my downfall.
All right, looks like coverage are in place.
No, we got an extra car up front. What do you mean? Well, I'm in
Drivers
3rd,
are up.
right here. I think George is in 2nd, right?
I'm in 4th.
I should have been more ready for the start, and I wasn't. So I'm already behind, and now the nerves are up.
Okay.
God damn it.
Race number 6 on the way.
Now that I've crashed, my anxiety really starts to peak. I'm starting to realize that I'm losing, and playing catch up is pretty daunting.
2 minutes down. 9, Craig in 10. Ian 11, Matthew in 12. 2:25 remaining.
This is where the mental game really plays a key role. I'm sort of panicking and losing momentum as I do, making more and more mistakes the more pressure I put on myself. I'm thinking about losing the race, and that's not helping at all.
Race number 7 drivers. It's going to be Riley, Ian, Chris, James, AJ, Eric, Evie, Steve, Wayne.
It isn't until quite a few laps in that I can start to relax a little bit and perform a little better.
Stay sharp. Number 7, that's coming up next. Riley, Ian Birmingham. 10 seconds, closing out. Finish strong, guys. Finish strong. Marshall, stay sharp.
Although I kind of bombed in this last main event, I did do better overall. And that's because in the qualifying rounds, I was ranking higher in the seed than I did before. I also was in a main event that wasn't the lowest ranking main event. In this case, it was the E main, but I could have been in the F main. So that shows that I'm advancing in the pack a little better than I was before. All right, guys, so this rounds out the weekend of racing. It is blazing hot out there, so I'm inside my car with the AC blasting, and I'm beat. So let me give you my conclusions on whether it's the car or the driver. It seems that a better car didn't make me a faster driver. It made it easier for me to become one. This truck gave me confidence, and confidence is something I was lacking with the Losi. Not only confidence to keep the truck running and not break parts, but also a sense of more stability on the racetrack. RC Madness put on an awesome weekend here. They get a lot of credit. So much manpower goes into this. So big shout out to RC Madness as always. I'll put a link in the description for this Tekno ET48 2.2 if you like it. I'll also throw in the Losi if you think you would prefer that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment, and I hope you guys join me in the next video. Thanks.